Welcome to the episode 109 of the Martial Arts Business Success. I've got my main man, Phil Britton here. I've got Graham McDonald, this is me. And we are rocking and rolling, ready to share some great stuff, some insights, some strategies, but more so, this is one that is from the heart, the amount of times that we have failed. And I guess, Phil, give us that quick analogy, that breakdown. I know we say it to our staff all the time.
Fail. First attempt in learning.
So it is not a bad word, it's not a nasty word. I think, I've recently had the opportunity to watch my kids doing some sports carnivals and stuff like that. And, it's a little sad. It's a little sad that there are certain schools, there are certain organisations that don't allow failure to occur.
Yeah.
Everything is a participation award. Everything is a pat on the back, even when the behaviours or the standards are well below what they should be.
Yeah.
So how the hell do you ever improve if you don't know that you're underperforming? So sometimes a fail is a right cross in the face, and as a martial artist, and I'm sure you guys can really resonate with this, is sometimes that whack in the face or that kick in the leg or that technique that slips through makes you go, ooh, I didn't like that, so I better make sure I work on it so it doesn't happen again. And in business, if you don't get those checkpoints, you're going to keep repeating the same things, and there's no way that you can ever improve and get better. So, what are we going to talk about? How do we dive in? So,
well, we when writing it up there, just dealing with failure, I said, oh, this will be easy because we've failed a lot.
Yep.
And I don't say that because we're failures. I say that because we're successful.
Yep.
Because the only way you get to success is by failing. It's a weird thing. So you've got to be prepared to fail. If you're not prepared to fail, you actually aren't prepared to succeed in anything.
Yeah.
It's putting yourself out there. It's challenging the status quo. It's going above and beyond the norm. And we've failed many times in our businesses and in our lives as well. And it's hard to put a particular situation. But just recently, for those who may follow me or whatever, I did a recent speaking trip in Vietnam. I thought it was a really good opportunity. It was worth investigating, but in actual fact, the actual situation and the event didn't go to plan. So in actual, I will say it was a bit of a failure. Didn't lose any money, didn't make any money, but it was a bit of a waste of time. But I can do two things. I can either whinge and moan and groan about it, or I can think about, well, what led me to the decision to do it. What decisions could I have made differently? And just reflect in that situation so I can learn it, because going off that analogy, first attempt in learning, there's many firsts of learning because there's many times to learn of all the different failures. There's been different times in our businesses where me and you, Graham, we've started businesses thinking that this is going to be great, this is what people want, and it not go to plan. But without the lessons we got from starting and failing, we wouldn't be able to go on to the next success.
Couldn't agree more.
Same thing with programs. How many programs have we tried to crack into and get teams programs working and try this fitness thing and that thing, thinking about, the growth of our school. But in actual fact, we were thinking wrong. But we would never have understood why we were thinking wrong, or be the person we are now to be able to help navigate our staff and clients now to overcome those issues. Because we would never have failed before, we never have gave it a go.
Look, I think, mate, you hit the nail on the head, and I suppose, think of all these failures as reps. Repetition of a drill, repetition of a pat and a kata. As a martial artist, we've all done stuff time and time again. The first time you learn it is, your all arms or legs or thumbs.
Yeah.
But after a while, you start to navigate, start to remember those checkpoints, those areas of improvement. And I suppose even with marketing nowadays, I see a lot of people who are screaming for that one magic ticket, that one bullet, that one whatever it may be, and they're not willing to try it unless there's a proven success formula. And then when it doesn't quite work out for themselves, the blame goes on that program or that person or whatever else.
Yeah.
And it's like, I could do 10 things, the same project, 10 different areas, and guess what? You probably get 2 or 3 that work really well, maybe 3 or 4 that kind of work medium, and there's going to be a couple with the same thing, the same environment, they just dive and fall through. So it's all about gathering data and information, and again, kind of treasure hunting. Everyone likes a little bit of adventure, and everyone likes to sometimes go, well, dig that hole, didn't get the treasure there, I'm not going to give up, I'm going to work on the next bit. So, I think realistically, in this day and age, you can't be afraid of giving it a go. Now, financially, I know that for some people, they don't have the money to risk. It's like, betting all your money on blackjack. It's probably not the smart choice because it's a risk. It's an uncalculated challenge. we failed with the best intentions and we've tried things that haven't worked, but we knew the risk and reward and we were able to gamble that in the sense where if it didn't pan out, it wasn't the end of the world. So, I guess for you guys, it's important to stretch yourself and try different projects because at the end of the day, your bread and butter is going to bring you in the students you've got and the results that you're getting, but how do you expand that? You've got to be willing to experiment, but know that if it doesn't work, it's not going to be a detriment and collapse your business as well too.
Yeah, and you're going off the, let's just say business and martial arts businesses, when we first started holiday camps, you would probably say that although the camp was good, but we only had 3 people come. You know what I mean? And we were like, do we continue doing this? Is it going to work? We were like, well, of course, we've started it. We're going to keep going.
Yeah.
If you build it, they will come.
Yep.
So we just looked at different ways of marketing it and getting more people in. So the program itself was really cool. Just how we filled those classes wasn't working.
That's right.
So we had to look at the failure of that particular situation and figure out how can we change it and adapt that to fill those classes up. Now look at the holiday camps they run every school holidays.
Jeez,
they're chock-a-block and at 3 locations.
Yeah.
So just think about it. If we didn't learn from that and we just gave up, we would never have got to the point where we're having holiday camps.
Yeah, for sure. Also too, like if I just go back to marketing, for example, I know this is done a lot with online marketing and that social presence. You may have the best, campaign, you may have the best product that you want to perform and provide, but realistically it may be that the wrong issue is with the copy or the text or the title or the photo or something like that. Is that a failure that your product, no one wants the product? No, it may be the way that it's delivered. So it's important that, like I said, you're a fact finder, a treasure hunter. You've got to be able to, after these results come in, go, what can we do to maybe change it? What can we do to improve the pro? What's the process that can be adapted and adjusted? And again, test and measure. And really that's the key thing. If you're not going to be willing to test it, try it, deal with the results, well, you may as well just sit back and just wait for your business to slowly fall apart because unfortunately, but also fortunately in this sort of economy and the way the world is going, innovate or die. I remember being at a business conference and said, if your business model, the way it looks today, if it doesn't evolve and innovate in 5 years' time, you will no longer exist. The way that people learn, the way you present yourself, the way you market, if you do not stay current and try things, you will no longer exist. It's gone are the days of yellow pages ads and wait for people to come to you. Ain't going to happen. A simple sign on the wall ain't going to happen. So again, team, you've got to be willing to get out there, fail, test and measure, and then regroup and go at it again.
So we sort of spoke about us failing, I guess, and how we have overcome that as well. But how do we translate that into students? Is it the same sort of thing? What do we say to the student or the parent if we're teaching kids, like when they're having to go for a grading or a tip or a belt, or how do we help them with their failures?
Look, I think something that we've always been able to do is get them to make the decision as well too, and guide. For example, if they're low performing, we know they're not ready for a grading, you put it back on them and sort of say that if, in the grand scheme of things, if you wanted to pass this grading, this level, this tip, whatever else, you want to be a high flyer, let's say you're going to be an A. Do you think you'd want to pass as a C, a C minus? And they're like, no. Well, look, what I think you're doing is you're somewhere in between, but we want you to be an A. For example, so what we're going to do is we're going to wait, we're going to practice a little longer to help you get to that same level, that elite level. You may need to word that differently depending on the age, the parent, but at the end of the day, we don't want to send you out there and have that experience just for the sake, when we know you're not ready for it, you're not ready to handle that failure, we're not going to throw you out there. On the flip of that as well too, there's also some students who need to experience that, and then you rebuild them and ask them the lessons they learned from this. I just recently did an on the couch with Sensei Brianna, and for you guys who haven't seen that, go check out our wayma.com.au or Wayma Facebook, and you'll be able to see some of those stories. And she said the best ever lesson she had as a martial artist was failing her second-hand grading 3 times. And although heartbreaking at the time, the life lessons and the determination she got and learned from that has been something that has forged and really been a catalyst to her successes now. So,
that's awesome.
Hey, where would it be in life if you don't get those checkpoints and those life lessons?
I guess to wrap up, don't go looking for failure, but don't be scared of it.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, you know where to go, I want to be successful, so I've got to find so many places to fail. Wrong way of doing it. Just, don't go looking for failure. Obviously, always set your expectations and intentions to succeed, but just know that if something doesn't go right, if something goes wrong and you fail, it's not the end of the world.
Yeah.
Lick your wounds, pick yourself up, assess it. Is this the direction I want to go at? Do I keep forging through and pushing through this, or do I need to zig or zag?
Yeah, for sure. Look, team, just another thing that I'll just give you so you can search it by yourselves. A really great, Facebook video or something on YouTube is one from Denzel Washington. If you just punch in, don't be afraid to fail. I'm sure it'll search out for you. He's speaking to a university students, a graduating class, and talks about how he became the man he is today. And the one lesson he learned that he remembers was fail. If you're going to fail, fail big. And don't be afraid, because most will never ever leave their comfort zone out of fear of failure. Where he went, break that apart. If I'm going to do it, I'm going to fail, but I'm going to fail on a large scale in a way that it means you're pushing yourself. Really, that's kind of the analogy behind it. Don't be afraid to push yourself past your comfort zones.
Cool, guys. Well, if you love listening to us, please come and join us at the TIMA Mastermind. So you don't just have to listen, you don't have to just watch, you can actually live interact with us with our live weekly Q&A. We're giving away $1 trials for you guys, so check that out. Have a look under the bonnet, take a peek behind the curtain. Come join the community, be a part of what we're trying to do and try and help martial arts business owners all over the world build their business, build their success, and have the life of their dreams. So that's $1 trial, guys. It's normally $37. We all just want to remove the barrier and just give you a chance to take that chance to have a look and see how we can help you in your business as well. So make sure you take us up on that opportunity, and we will see you on the flip side real soon in the next podcast.
Talk soon, team.